Hi everybody, my name's Scott. Welcome to Planes, Trains, Everything and welcome to London. Today you and I are going to do a bit of a challenge. It's an 18-hour challenge. We're travelling by coach from London to Prague with a company called Regiojet. Now I hadn't heard of this company up until a few months ago and I thought that could make a very interesting video, but I kept putting it off. I suffer from a thing called analysis paralysis. The more I think about doing a trip, the more likely I am to put it off. And I decided one day, I'm just going to do this, let's book it. Boom. I booked it, and then, foolishly, I started checking reviews online. 47% of TripAdvisor reviews rate the service as terrible, and 63% of Trustpilot reviews give it a 1 star out of 5. Oh dear, is it all bad news? Well, 18 hours of hell, but we do use Eurotunnel, we stop at Brussels Midi, and we stop at Luxembourg, which is a country I've never been to before. We also stop at Pilsen, which is in the Czech Republic, or as they like to be known now as Czechia. Anyway, our bus leaves in about 45 minutes. Let's get moving. That's my first time to the Green Line coach station and there's not much to report apart from the fact it's not as manic as the main Victoria coach station, so I think I'll hang around here. I was studying my electronic ticket and in the fine print it said operated by SA, Student Agency, so who knows what the bus will look like, but it's due in about 30 minutes. Imagine my disappointment when my confirmed seat, number 4, wasn't available. I had hoped to get forward and side shots for this video, but the front row was kept clear as a sort of COVID buffer between passengers and drivers. Why sell this row to the public then? Our big yellow bus to Prague cost €72 one way and left London 1/3 full. Just 15 minutes into our journey we sat in non-moving traffic for over an hour. There was a demonstration along the Albert Embankment at Vauxhall and so we were going nowhere fast. At around 826 miles, this wasn't the longest coach journey I've ever done, but close to it. The longest was Perth to Karratha in Western Australia at around 947 miles. Folkestone we left the coach for a passport check. The driver was concerned because a head count at London said 27 passengers, but we only had 26 now. This delayed us for another 20 minutes until the driver gave up and left. Off the coach a second time, this time for French immigration checks. There was no head count done this time by the driver. pretty cool. The shuttle, no cars.
Nic neřekne, jo, no tak to je nějaký to. Dělali víc teda v těch.
We made up around 30 minutes at Eurotunnel because it was so quiet. However, we lost an hour west of Brussels due to a breakdown on the E40 motorway. At Brussels we lost 8 passengers and gained a dozen new faces. The bus stop at Luxembourg was a park and ride location on the city outskirts. Not very glamorous. So a new country, Luxembourg. But I'm only here for 2 minutes. I don't want to miss my bus. At least I can say I've stood in a new country. Things started getting more interesting once we left Luxembourg. Passing from Luxembourg into southern Germany, the coach driver was desperately trying to make up lost time, but we were snapped by a speed camera. At 12:30 AM we were pulled over by the police. My guess is because we were speeding. This is the town of Friedrichsthal, just north of Saarbrücken and the Swiss border. This was a little bit off the beaten track, so I'm guessing the driver either got lost or there was a diversion off the A8 autobahn. We had a short break at a service station at Homburg, at roughly the halfway point in our journey. This was the only time we were allowed to leave the coach and buy any drinks or food. At 1:30 AM we stopped for 15 minutes in a petrol station forecourt for no obvious reason. At 5:15 AM we stopped at some random lay-by in western Czechia, losing more time. At 6 AM we slowly drove through a petrol station, then a little later the same thing, this time a Shell garage. Was the driver comparing prices? We rolled into Pilsen in western Czechia 2 hours late. When I returned home, I contacted Regiojet about compensation, as they have an on-time guarantee, and we arrived into Prague 2 hours late. They said the delay had to be more than 1.5 hours, and according to their records, the delay was under 90 minutes. I don't think so. Well guys, we finally made it to Prague. Our 18-hour adventure became a 20-hour adventure just because things seemed to conspire against them. They just could not make up this lost time, and we arrived 2 hours later than expected. What did I think of Regiojet? Actually pretty good. I can compare them with BlaBlaCar and Flixbus, and I can honestly say I think I found them better than the other two. And the fact that they got so much negative reviews from TripAdvisor and Trustpilot makes me wonder what on earth happened to the other guys, because I had actually a good journey, even though it was 18 or I should say 20 hours long. It was just the little things which made them stand out. They've got the coffee, which the others don't have. They have the entertainment service in the seat in front of you, even though most of it is in the Czech language. It's still a great touch. And they have a magazine called Slutty. I mean, what is there not to like about Regiojet? Anyway, I've got a list of the things they say they include, or which are available. I'll read them out to you. Free hot drinks, yes. Refreshments, yes, but you pay for them. So you should actually stock up before you get on this bus. There was one stop, and that was at a service station last night. It was just after the halfway point on the journey. I would bring your own stuff if you're going to do 18 hours on a bus. Power outlet, yep, there was a USB and also a European socket underneath the seat. Air conditioning, no newspapers, I didn't see any newspapers, and entertainment portal, that's what they call that, and Wi-Fi. So overall it was a great journey. And more importantly, at my age I've discovered I can still survive a 20-hour bus trip, which opens up all sorts of possibilities. Anyway guys, thanks very much for coming along on this rather unusual journey. I never thought I'd ever do that, but there you go, I've done it, and I'm glad you came along with me as well, and I'll see you next time.